That does sound a little bit strange, like you mean you can reuse the wind? Well, of course you can. Big windmills do it. They separate themselves maybe 2,000 feet from each other, but they still reuse the wind. So today we're going to show you how to do it in a more compact environment. My name is George Spencer, and I'm an inventor. My background to getting to being an inventor, I've spent a lot of time in a lot of different applications and projects, things of this nature, but primarily I was in the electronic world. I was a senior staff engineer for one major electronics company. I owned my own major electronics company, and I was a rancher. When I started assessing vertical windmills, what I noticed that most of them all operate off of a single vertical shaft, which drives a generator to its base, and they're all somewhat small. You cannot produce large quantities of energy with small blades. It's just a fact. So I had to look at this, see what I could do. I knew that it was going to be a challenge because vertical windmills don't have a method of holding themselves stable. They want to tilt and move around on their vertical axis as they're trying to operate. So to make a long bladed vertical windmill is not really feasible because they want to tip and turn over. To overcome that, what I did, instead of using a vertical axle, I put a elevated ring that they operate on or travel on. And so I could put multiple rings underneath it and support a blade 500, 600 feet long if I want to. And this is one of the keys to making it. There's a couple, three others, but first you have to start off with a stable platform. You notice as I turn the windmill itself, this gear turns with the windmill. It's actually attached to each one of these frames. And windmill itself captures power and energy. And so we have to transfer that energy down into the generator that we want to generate power with. And that's how the mating gear that comes up and attaches to this, it spins and spins the generator, and we have electric power. To kind of highlight some of the features and advantages of my particular windmill, you have to kind of understand where we're at with the limitations of our existing horizontal windmills. On the horizontal windmill, one of the things that they have is the length of the blade. And you have to have surface area to get more power. For them to increase their surface area, they've almost reached their limit of 300-foot blades of being able to do that. So it's very painful for a horizontal windmill manufacturer to increase the power rating of that windmill from 3 megawatts up to 8 megawatts. I guess the question on the table is, how does this serve my ultimate goal? My ultimate goal is to build hydrogen generators, and I need a power source for that. So portability becomes a real factor in the generators, to be able to put them in places, these wind generators, put them in places where you wouldn't normally find them. Normally you find them on top of mountains and things of this nature. Because of this design, I can operate down in 6 to 10 mile an hour winds instead of the 10 to 30 mile an hour winds. Now mine not only operates in those low wind conditions, the horizontal windmills have an upper wind cutoff point where if they go any faster they can damage themselves. Mine does not have that. It's automatically feathering. It rotates at a very, very docile speed. This particular windmill will turn less than 1 RPM in reasonably decent winds, like 30 mile an hour winds. So it's very slow, very docile, and it becomes a perch for birds. So from that aspect, it's great. But from my aspect, again, I'm concerned about how much energy it puts out. And this one will stagger you in the amount of energy it's going to put out. I couldn't hardly believe it when I run the numbers on how great this thing is. I have to have more models I have to build to confirm all of my data and things of this nature that I'm doing. We've made a lot of progress. We have reasonable amounts of work ahead of us. To do that, these new models will cost more than my budget. So I really need people who are interested in bringing technology like this to market to financially help me. That's what I really need. With an accelerated pace, I'm still on a 5-year timeline to try to get this thing done. And I believe 5 years is reasonable. So we should have working prototypes within 2 years with the right budgets. But it's a tough world. Nothing comes easy on this deal. And the thing that greases the wheel is money. Any help that I get, I truly appreciate. And you will be part of bringing this technology to the world.